Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The 1930s were a very difficult time to be alive. The Great Depression weighed heavily on everyone. Prohibition made it difficult to drown your sorrows. Poverty and crime were everywhere. A difficult time indeed. Our scenario is entitled Dead Border, and it was written by Todd Gardner and Mike Mason, and with some slight alterations by myself. I'm your GM, and we have run this one shot before. This is version 3. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. It's the summer of 1931, June 5th to be exact. It's not too hot, but the humidity is high, which makes it oppressive. It's also the Depression, and it's hit the residents of Providence, Rhode Island pretty hard. You live in Ma Shank's boarding house on the edge of Federal Hill, just outside Little Italy. Ma Shanks used to be a lot more active in the business, but due to her advanced age, a few years ago she hired Mary Plank to manage the building as its landlord. It's about 11 a.m., and a number of tenants, including you, have gathered to speak to the landlord concerning one of the tenants, Mr. James Gardner, who lives on the 3rd floor. Mr. Gardner has been a resident for a little over 2 years, and though he's not a very interactive man and likes his privacy, you have become concerned that he hasn't been seen for a few days, nor has he answered his door. And so you have pestered the landlady to the point that she's just about ready to give in to your demands. Look, I understand your concerns, but I just can't let you invade an tenant's room.
Listen. We haven't seen this man in several days.
Well, could you consider that he might just be on vacation, you know?
Well, he didn't tell any of us about a vacation.
Yeah, I need to see him. It's a really important matter me and him need to speak about.
Miss Plank, I keep my eyes on everything that goes on in and out of this building, and he's not on vacation, not at all. I didn't see him do anything, Miss Plank, not a thing.
All right. For crying out loud. Let me get my keys.
At least
Well,
check.
thank you.
Thanks, I really appreciate it.
All right. Let's go on down there. Well, it's just down the hall. Oh, let's see. Mr. Gardner's room. Here we go. Mr. Gardner.
See, Miss Plank, he's not answering at all. We really need to get in there. We should probably just go right in. He may be in danger. Mr.
Gardner, are you there?
Look, Mary, we've been knocking on his door for several days now. This is beyond absurd.
All right. Mr. Gardner, we're coming in. Put your clothes on if you're not decent.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Let's open this thing up, Miss Plank. Come on.
I'm opening it. Just hold your horses.
Come on, Earl, don't rush her.
And so she opens the door, and this is what you see. Oh, dear God.
Oh my God.
Well, that was not quite what I was expecting.
Nobody touch anything. Nobody touch anything until we've called the authorities.
Well, Seekerson, I was just planning on to dive right in.
Oh, dear God.
Well, I wouldn't put it past you, Dominic.
Listen, there's no working phones in the building. Tommy, come here.
There's got to be a reason for this. At least I go check the table, see if there's a suicide note or something.
Tommy, you go down to the precinct house and see if you can get Officer Malone. Tell him there's been a terrible accident at Ma Shank's. Yeah, go. All right, that'll take him probably 20 minutes before anybody even gets here. Oh dear God!
Look, they laid out a tarp to keep it rug.
My head in the doorway, and
Okay, well, let's go down the line. Jared, what do you do?
I'm gonna look around and see around the bookcase, see if there's anything particular I'm looking for.
Okay, so you're walking towards the bookcase.
Yes.
Zane, what are you doing?
I'm just sticking my head in the doorway and looking around to see if I can just, because I don't want. I'm told everyone not to touch anything,
Okay, so you're
just looking around to see if there's any notes written or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay, you're stepping to left or right?
Probably towards the table where I can
Okay.
see the paper.
And Bill?
Ed is the same thing. He's going to the table. Excuses, I'm looking for a suicide note. I mean, he conveniently put a tarp under himself before he shot himself or however he died.
Dominic?
Well, I'm quite intrigued by that paper on the floor, and everybody else seems too scared of the body to do anything about it, so I'm going to go step by the window.
Okay. Earl?
I'm looking around in general. I find that he's got more furniture in his room than I have in mine. I thought these were all standard rooms. I'm definitely not too happy about that. I guess I'm gonna stroll over here to this wardrobe and bed area and just kind of keep an eye on, kind of look around and poke a bit, see exactly what I can find here.
All right. Well, let's start with Dominic. You're walking over by the window. First of all, there is a smell in the room, though not what you'd expect. It's almost spice-like, like almost cinnamony smell, and there's kind of, you can smell the coppery smell of blood, but all of the blood, with a few exceptions, is dry on the tarp.
It looks like he's Don't worry, Seekerson. Nobody will get the blood on them. It's all dried.
Tom, are those things on the side cupboards?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of you have them there for, food storage and stuff like that. Well, let me before we continue, let me go around the room really quick. So if you're standing at the door and you're going right around the room, you've got a table with some letters and a fedora hat and a chair. Mm-hmm. You've got cupboards across the wall. You've got a table with a single place setting. Then you've got, of course, him in the center of the room. There appears to be a piece of paper and something sitting on the table or sitting on the ground next to him. You've got a bookcase, a nightstand, a bed, and a wardrobe.
All right, what is it that is next to him on the ground?
Well, it looks like there are 2 candles, and there is a piece of paper. The piece of paper has a strange design and writing on it. It's splattered with blood. The candles seem to be black and have burnt almost all the way down to the base.
Well, perhaps they are the source of that cinnamon smell. Something in here was burning. Is there food left out?
Do you look any closer?
Well, yes. I will get closer to look at both the paper and the candles.
Okay. The candles seem normal, but they're black, and the paper looks like that.
Well, that is a peculiar piece of paper. What kind of writing is that?
Let me.
I understand this paper.
That looks like the same letters from that foreign restaurant down the street.
Well, there are this is not quite like languages I have come across.
And that spider thing in the middle.
Jared, you have some languages, don't you, on your sheet?
I have Greek and Latin.
Yeah, you recognize it. It's Greek.
Yeah, I was going to say Greek.
I
So
can
if
roll for that.
Sure, yeah.
I got 71. I didn't make it. It's 40.
I'm sorry, what'd you get?
I got 71. My language on Greek is 40. I didn't make it.
Okay, the Greek looks a little archaic. It's old. And so that you said that was a failure.
Yeah, it was a failure.
Okay, you've gotten a little quiet again. I don't know
Oh,
why.
it did.
Sigerson, you're a student. Do you have any Greek?
Let me check on my thing. No, don't think I
Okay.
do.
All
And
right.
I'm not looking at these. I'm looking at the
Desk.
at the desk with the other papers.
Okay.
It's same for Eddie.
So let's see. We'll go to that. Sigerson, you're looking at the desk with papers on it.
Mm-hmm.
What you find are a number of letters.
Okay.
The first one seems to be from a bank in Scotland.
Okay.
And the letter basically is telling Mr. Gardner that with the way he's been neglecting his accounts and spending his money, that he probably only has about 6 months of funds left before he's going to be flat broke.
Okay. Is there a date on the note?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Is that all that is the papers?
Well, there's a number of other papers. Why don't you do a spot hidden?
Okay. 31, which is a pass.
Just a regular pass?
Yeah.
Okay. You find other things from various people in England and Scotland and the United States, but nothing in particular looks that interesting. Eddie, do a spot hidden.
No.
Okay.
And Eddie's more looking. He's already reaching for the drawer on the left side of the desk.
Okay.
Because what's on top doesn't interest him.
Right. You open the drawer, and all that's in there is some stationery, a couple of pencils, a sharpener. Nothing interesting at all.
Where did he put it?
Can I examine the hat?
Sure. The hat is just a fedora. Pretty
Yeah.
good condition.
Now, is there any with the body? Is he holding anything? Is there anything in his pockets?
Well, the one most obvious and most horrific part of it is it seems like he has a cut on his face, but the cut seems to start at the top of his head and spiral around like this until it gets to his throat and then slices across his throat.
Well, a very odd way to kill someone.
Or killed himself?
Well, I don't think if I was going to kill myself, Eddie, I don't think I would do it so painfully as to start here and carve all the way around until I cut my own throat. It's just easier, to just start, here and just be done with it.
Is
Jared,
the knife around? Is he laying on a knife?
I don't see a knife. Unless I see a knife.
Is the window unlocked, Dominic?
Let me check, but I think somebody had something for Jared.
the window is latched. So, Jared, you were walking over towards
The bookcase.
the bookcase. Now, the bookcase is really a very lovely, fancy sort of bookcase. It's got 2 rows of shelves that have glass fronts on them. On either end, it has scroll work and like little cherub angels carved in wood. It's beautiful workmanship. At the bottom, there are a couple of drawers.
Okay.
And there are books on there are only about books on half the shelves. so they don't fill the whole thing.
All right. May I open the drawers and see if there's any other items inside the drawers?
Sure.
Okay.
So you slide open the drawers. Let's see. There are 2 books that are sitting inside there. One of the books is Myths and Legends of Ancient Greece and Rome by E.M. Behrens. And the other one is The Interpretation of Dreams by Sigmund Freud.
Okay. These are 2 of the books I've lended to Gardner. I'm still missing one, but I'm still looking for the this other one particularly. But I loaned these books to him, so is it possible I can go and get these books back for me, Mary?
So you want to grab these 2 books?
Yes.
Yes, not a problem.
You're planning on doing some
excuse me,
reading there.
Would that not be evidence? Everything
No,
in this
no.
room would be evidence,
Well,
would it, Mary?
A couple of weeks ago, well, not a couple of weeks ago, a while back, I lent him my books, and me and him were pretty fairly.
That's fine, but right now, this room is the site of a murder, very clearly. So everything in this room is evidence, Jared.
That's true, but when it's my
But nothing.
property.
Police? No, listen, police will be coming to investigate everything.
I don't think that the police will miss his
For all we
little.
know, those books,
I mean,
for all we know, the books he's taking could have knives in them.
Well,
It could
we
be a
just,
knife in one of
I
those
highly
books.
you
doubt
just
that.
please just open the books.
Would everyone please stop you playing with Mr. Gardner's things?
They're not his
they're
things.
not. They're my
They're
things. I loaned them to him.
And I slam the table, and I'm like, put everything down.
No, you need to calm
Now!
down. You need to calm down. The secret's in here.
Listen, you gotta calm down,
come with
man.
me.
I'm
Mr.
just
Gardner
saying.
has been murdered, Dominic.
Look, I think that you need to just relax. Let's go downstairs. Let's just get you a glass of water and just relax.
I'm relaxed, but this man has been murdered, and us coming in here and taking whatever we like, regardless if it was ours to begin with, is not heard of.
But
I don't know how you do things here in the United States, but in England, we are not savages.
Well, welcome to the United States. Now, come on, let's go get you a nice cup of water, and we'll just forget
I'm
about
not
it.
leaving this room. I am not leaving these people in this room.
And Eddie is already over at the cabinets on the wall, and starting from the far left, he's opening to look inside.
And I'm going to literally go and stand by the door so that if
Okay.
anyone tries to exit with taking stuff.
So as you guys are sort of arguing, and Eddie reaches up to open up one of the cupboards. Eddie, do a dodge roll.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Aha. So as you open up the door, even as you're opening it, you realize that something is about to fall out of the thing. And it's a large jar of pennies. And as it falls, it hits you, and it does 1d2 damage, hits the ground, shatters, and pennies go everywhere. So it stops your argument flat. You're all
Well,
He's richer than I am.
I'm going to start scooping up some of the pennies.
okay.
And now that the pennies are out of the way, what do I see inside the cabinet?
Foodstuffs, bags of food, boxes of noodles, things that you would find, but nothing other than just containers and foodstuffs and canned food and stuff like that. Maybe some blankets.
No. See, Mr. Segerson, do you think that these pennies they helped commit the murder? Do you think?
They belong to Mr. Gardner. They're evidence.
Segerson, what are you
Everything in
doing?
this room. I'm still standing by the door. blocking the way for anyone who tries to exit with any of the items that are in the room until the police get here, basically. Because Tommy has been sent for the police, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just going to stand. I've actually closed the door, and then I'm leaning up against the door. So basically, someone's going to have to hit me. Like physically, we'll actually have to move.
Well, now we've been trying so hard to get in the room, and now it looks like we're going to have to try hard to get out of the room.
Seekers, into a power roll.
$22, which is easy pass.
Okay. So you have resolved that you're going to do that instead of any kind of investigation.
Yeah. Just because, I respect for the dead, basically, is the... I'm very curious why Jared's so desperate to take those books back, though. So, yeah, I'm maybe, while I'm sitting there trying to maybe see if I can see a title on the books he's holding.
These are my property. I loaned them to him a few months ago, so he had something to read. Me and Gardner were actually casual. He'll come to my store and we would talk casually, and I loaned him 3 books so he could read for a while. I was just coming to collect my books. I still am missing 1, but
Well, I'm missing 2 books. And
Is there nothing that you wanted in here, Seegerson? Why were you so anxious to get in here?
yeah, why were you really wanting in here?
Mr. Gardner was a friend of mine, and I was just concerned.
You're acting.
Really
You're
nice.
acting all tough, and you.
So I'd like to know what Earl is doing while they're all arguing.
Well, actually, I was just walking behind this bookshelf while they were making their big commotion there.
Okay.
Everybody's so worried about everything going on. Sigerson over there playing Mr. Big Police Officer, and the book dwindling and swapping, and I borrowed this and he borrowed that. The whole thing's a bunch of hogwash. But I'd like to go over to that nightstand, and while they're all looking the other way, because Mr. Penny Smasher over there just kicked everything all over the floor, more than anything else, I just want to go over here to this nightstand and see what book is sitting up here, because I'm hearing a lot of talk about books, and maybe I want to get a book too, and I see one on the nightstand, and I'd like to go see that one, Miss Blank. I really would.
All right. You walk over to the desk. There's a lamp and there's an old book, and there's a drawer in the desk. The book is titled The Dreamer's Dictionary. Do a spot hidden for me, too.
37. On 45, that's a pass.
Mr. Gardner hasn't been sleeping in his bed for a while. You can see that it's made, but it's also a little dusty.
I take note of that in my brain. While I'm standing here, I'd take a look back and make sure the brute force back there is not coming up my backside.
Right.
And I'd like to just slowly open that drawer on the nightstand.
Okay. Inside the drawer, it looks like there's a small brown journal. And there is also a small corked bottle of a brownish colored liquid. And there's also a small vial containing an off-white powder.
Oh. Can I
do a stealth roll?
All right.
Or would that be sleight of hand or stealth? Sleight of hand. Or I don't know, whichever one you think.
21 on... If it's spot... Oh, it's normal. Both sides pass normal on both, either one.
And your intention is to slip those into your pocket?
The containers, I think I'd like to take the containers.
Okay. You do so.
Nice. And nobody saw.
Nope.
Excellent. Can I open the journal and thumb through?
Yes.
If there's anything of interest?
Yes, there is. You begin to read it. It takes you really only, a few minutes to peruse through it. This is kind of what you learn just at a cursory glance.
The Dream Journal of James Gardner. Something's rattling over here. This handwritten journal can be initially skimmed through in about 10 minutes. It's odd for someone to write instructions at the top of their own journal. He recorded an entry about 3 times a week for many months. He made each entry after having a vivid dream. He begins referring to this other reality as the Dreamlands. He describes his experiences as both marvelous and bizarre, yet very real. The dreams suddenly stop about 3 months ago. His entries during this period express great frustration. No dreams again. This goes on for weeks. About 10 days ago, you find the entry. At last, my prayers have been heard. I found myself in a palace of blue crystal. Upon the day, a throne, and on the throne, a being that shimmered with strange light. He told me things, marvelous things. Gardner describes nightly dreams wherein he sees the same entity, each time in a different setting, but always the same being. The entity promises to show him a path that will... ringing in my ear. The entity promises to show him a path that will lead him to the Dreamlands if he performs certain rituals and sacrifices. Gardner makes a statement. Now, that blessed tome makes more sense. The meaning becomes clear. You lose 1 point of sanity and gain 2% on my occult skill. Balderdash.
Now you see,
For a moment, I've got to do math.
Mr. Sigerson, I would like to get a drink of water, so I'm going to need to step past you.
And I'm also still missing one book, and I need to look around for it, so...
Dominic, why, pray tell, would a man of your stature want with Mr. Gardner? Why were you so desperate to get into this room?
Well, now you see, if you didn't want to answer that question, I don't have to answer that question.
I didn't answer the question. I said he's a friend of mine, and I'm concerned because I've not seen him for a few days, so I wanted to check he was all right. I answered the question, Mr. Dominic.
Well, you see, you've already seen what has happened. I don't see the purpose for you to be holding us here against our will. You know, you talk about how things are
Because
done in
for
America.
all I know, one of you could be the murderer, and you've come in here to clean up your tracks by removing.
How do we know that you are not the murderer?
How do we know you're not the one that's being the murderer? Why
Exactly,
do you want
Jerry.
us all to stay here?
Because I'm not taking anything out of the room, and I'm standing in the way of stopping other people. I'm not attacking you.
So
I'm standing.
when the police are going to come, they're going to have trouble getting through the door because of this belligerent man trapping everybody in here. That
They
makes
will
sense.
knock. They will knock to come.
Well, you
Oh,
can
he's
lock
frozen
me
in.
out.
He's
Oh,
frozen
I-
in here.
I'm switching.
Well, look what you've done.
Whoa.
You scared him stiff.
Jared, do a spot hidden roll.
Pass.
As you're looking at the bookcase, like I say, there were 2 shelves. One of the shelves has mostly accounting, sort of, how to do finance, how to do accounting and stuff like that. There's a few sort of boring occult sort of books. Nothing really interesting or old. There's banking books and things like that. there's an odd sort of bookend on one end. But as you're staring at it, it suddenly occurs to you that with the drawers at the bottom, there's still about that much between the bottom of the drawer and the floor. And there could be some sort of secret hiding place in the bookcase.
Oh.
There's certainly enough room for it.
Okay. I'm going to look underneath that spot.
Okay. You can't, if you pull out what are you going to do? Pull out the drawers or?
Yeah, I'm going to pull out the drawers.
It's pretty solid on the bottom of them. But
Okay, that should work now.
there's definitely possibly, something underneath. If you rap on it, it sounds hollow.
Hey, there's something hollow right here, guys.
Is there a way to get it open? I'm gonna go over and fiddle with it.
The bookcase is very good construction. It's beautiful, beautifully carved. It's very solid. You don't find.
But it sounds
Find
hollow.
any
Is there seems to be a weak spot in it? Some cheap backing or something?
Well, it does look old, but it doesn't look so old that it's decrepit. It's actually in really nice condition. And like I say, pretty solidly built.
Is there something heavy nearby?
Not really.
Oh. We might have to come back
Sure.
later and find out what is in this spot.
And at the mention of the hidden drawer, Eddie is working his way in that direction. And as he bypasses the tarp, that's his first glimpse at the paper above James' head.
Okay.
So I would glance over there. Am I close enough? I'm walking around his feet looking up at that. Am I close enough to see that design in the center of the paper?
Sure. Yeah.
And does it do I recognize it as far as a purchase that James made about a year ago? It would have maybe carved on the item he had to get for him?
No.
Okay.
And you don't read Greek, do you?
No, Italian.
Yeah, no,
I
you don't see
do
anything.
have Greek, by the way. I do have it, but I haven't seen the paper yet.
Of course, you haven't you haven't touched the body or done anything with the body.
I'm getting there.
Well, was there anything in the body's pockets?
You didn't check the body's pockets.
Well, I would like to check the pockets.
All right. So you were leaning down next to the body, and you can see that his shirt is opened down a ways, longer than more than what propriety would see. So you can see some of his chest as you're fiddling with his coat and trying to get it. Do a spot hidden.
That would be an 05.
Okay.
Extreme.
You notice that he has other marks on his body that look like, cuts or scratches.
Are they in any particular design?
Yes, they're all in little spirals.
Mr. Tiergerson, I think you have more concerns than to keep us in this room. It looks like whoever killed your friend here had a very great interest in arts and crafts. Perhaps with your great knowledge and superiority to all of us, perhaps you would be able to recognize them. Since, you are so smart and tough in front of the door and don't want to help your dead friend out, maybe you should come take a look at this.
Dominic, you got such a good roll. You can tell that some of the spiral marks on his body are fresh and some of them are old.
Well, maybe he's done it to himself. Look at
I
this.
just rolled another pow, and I passed, so I'm sticking by the door.
Oh, you care so much about your friend, and you don't even care about who killed him. Oh, that's so touching. Now, because you see, Miss Seekerson, look at what I have done for your friend here. Look, some of these cuts on his body are older, and some of them are newer. Now, look, I have done another thing for your friend that you have not done. And look, you consider yourself so smart, and yet you don't even come take a look at this paper or have any curiosity at all. It's really just a shame.
You've also stolen my friend's money.
No, it's still in my hand. Let it drop to the floor.
You find his wallet, and there's $2. $2.
That is far more interesting than pennies. But good thing, where is this wallet? Is it obscured from our good friend Mr. Seegerson on the other side of his body?
No, you find it in his jacket.
I think what he's asking is, do I see him find it and pull it out?
Well, he's fiddling with his body, so I don't see how he's right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm watching him like.
Well, I'll leave it there.
Well, I still need to get my other book, but
You're
not going to pass. You're not going to let me pass.
Oh no, definitely not.
What's your other book, Jared?
Don't worry, Jerry. He's a pushover. You could just nudge him out of the way. Don't even worry about Mr. Seegerson.
I'm looking for. It's like a dictionary, per se.
Well, you need to know what something means. I just ask me. I know a lot of words.
Well, Earl, what is a name for somebody who is a stubborn and bad friend? Is there a word for that?
Selfish friend.
Malacca.
Right now, I'm starting to think maybe that word is Sigerson Kips.
I think so too.
Malacca.
Or maybe
I'd
file that under Kips, Sigerson. So under K or S, either one. You can't just block us in here, Sigerson. I mean, I'm trying to leave or run away or run through you or anything, but I sure enough don't know if it's quite your job to just stand there like some kind of door blocker. I don't even remember seeing you and Mr. Gardner ever just hanging around one another more than passing in the hall, and I see everything that happens here. Everything, Jared. Everything, Dominic.
Dominic, do a spot hidden.
Oh, 99 is less good.
Okay. Eddie, you're standing over between the body and the bookshelf.
Working my way over to the bookshelves. To the wardrobe where Jared had first found his announced hidden cavity, and then in that area of the bookshelf.
Okay. What are you looking for, or what are you? You've looked at the books on the shelf. You don't see anything there.
Right. I'm looking for a particular size of the items that James was working with me on.
Right.
And if I don't see that size in the bookcase, then that draws me over toward the wardrobe where Jared had mentioned.
Well, there's definitely, if there's a secret panel in that bookcase, then there's probably plenty of room for that.
Then I'm over there.
All right, go ahead and do a spot hidden. Or if you've got a woodworking skill.
Nope. And nope.
Okay. So you're sort of moving past that and heading over towards the wardrobe. Seekerson, what are you up to? All these people are doing all this looking around at stuff, and you're just standing there, feeling.
Well, I'm watching, everyone and stuff. I'm obviously. I mean, I don't think anyone in the room trusts Dominic because of just his reputation alone.
Well,
I'm somewhat confused as to why no one else is really. I mean, Jared said he's come to get some books, but that seems a little strange to me. I don't know what Eddie's looking for. Earl is just nosy, so I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. He's just poking around. So I'm kind of trying to suss people out and what they're doing. I'm still trying to do my best to try and see if I can see a title or something on the books that Jared's holding.
No. Listen, Mr. Segerson. Since you are just such a good doorstop, I think you should be rewarded by maybe making yourself actually useful. So I'm going to pick up that paper and I'm going to go hand it to him.
Okay.
Look, how about you actually look at something to help your dead friend here, since you are so close.
This is the Greek one, right?
Correct.
Okay. It's a fail. I only have 15.
You guys can use luck,
I got 85 and I only have 15.
Well, you know what? I would like it if you think really hard about this.
Plus, I only have like 30 luck as well.
Hey, Eddie. What were you looking at there at the bottom of the, what were you looking at there in the bottom of the bookcase there?
Well, there's extra space on this shelf here. It just doesn't look like, it looks like there's more to it than just the shelves that are here, but I didn't really find anything.
Well, it's a damn
Are you still standing in front of the nightstand?
No, I've been around the bookcase for a moment once I, you don't worry about what I was doing back there, but I'm here now.
No, I'm asking out of, just in position, where are you at?
Oh, in that case, I'm over there by you at the counter.
Okay.
I was seeing what you were looking at in that bookcase over there.
I'm looking for...
If you say there's a maybe a false bottom.
I didn't find any false bottom. I'm just saying that there's extra space here, and...
Now, I may have delved in the industrial arts back in my day.
Oh, yeah? Well,
just a little. Little bit of woodwork, a little bit of stain, a lot of sanding, filing, lathe, wood turning. I'd like to go take a look at that. Take a look at that bookcase if there's no objections from you guys. Huh?
Fine with me.
Good.
Don't worry. Nobody who matters here will object.
No, I just need to get my last book. That's all I need.
And since Earl is over at the bookcase and I'm somewhat in the corner anyway, I'm going to get on my hands and knees to first look under the bed and then try to look under the mattress.
Okay. The only thing under the bed is a pair of shoes. Under the mattress, there's nothing. It's just a spring.
Is there anything under the tarp, or is it just a nice rug that has been spared from the blood?
Well, Dominic, while you're there, go ahead and do an appraise roll.
Appraise. I like that word. That would be an 09. A extreme success.
Yeah, that rug. I mean, no blood on it.
And he doesn't need it, but
it's in good condition. That could bring you a hefty amount. Maybe $75 or $100.
He will keep this in mind for later after Segerson's police friends take this corpse off of what might soon become my property. I think this to myself, so that way Mr. Segerson doesn't have a conniption. I'm thinking this in my head.
For that matter, that bookcase might be worth quite a bit.
Yeah, and Mr. Segerson can't stand there. I'm younger than him, so he'll die before me, and I'll eventually get out of here.
And maybe that bookend on one end is weird looking.
How old are you, Dominic?
Oh, me? Oh, I am a 19-year-old who beats up men who are stronger than you are on a daily basis.
Okay, so you're fractionally younger than me. I'm only 22.
Right, and yeah. You're standing there like you're such a big man. You're yet a child.
I'm literally just standing against the door.
If you two are going to measure them, let's just get that over with.
All right. No, I was going to have you step aside now. You know what? That's a good point, Earl. Move aside.
You're not going to measure those, are you? Because I'm
just gonna stand.
Earl, I thought you already know. You see everything. But listen.
I do.
Segerson, I like you. But I would hate for your fragile little nose to be split. So if you would please make yourself actually useful and stop standing in front of the door, I think we would all appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, Dominic. Dominic, I'll do you a deal.
Okay.
You can have anything in this room, and I will let you out. You can have anything you want in this room.
Oh, now you're offering your girlfriend's property.
But I want the 2 books that Jared's holding.
No.
Well, you know what, Jared?
Books.
Jared, my friend, you have plenty of books.
No.
So how about you just let Mr. Segerson just have a look at them?
Fine, but they're my books. I actually have some accounting with all my books, knowing which books I particularly lend out.
So does he hand me the books?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What are the titles on the books?
Myths and Legends of Ancient Greece and Rome by E.M. Behrens, and The Interpretation of Dreams by Sigmund Freud. That one's written in German. These look like library books. They're not gilt.
If I look like inside them, is there any writing or anything, or is there actually a thing that says the library?
No. These, okay. I mean, Jared has a bookstore.
Yeah, no, but if it's a library book, they'll have like the.
Yeah, no, they're not. No, they're not library books, but they okay. have that sort of look to them. Errol.
Yes. Yes, Mary.
You were looking over the bookcase.
I was, and I was adoring the rosewood inlays and the nicely turned edges. I kind of knelt down, feeling around the bottom where the extra space was. Along, it's like a poplar pine interweb dovetail trinky flue insertion.
Did you pass your craft or whatever you've got?
Woodwork, yes. 40 on 40. It's as minimum of a pass you could possibly make. But
so you're running your hands up along the scroll work by the cherubs and things. It's really good workmanship. And there's a place where there's a scroll work and kind of a spiral, and in the center of it presses in, and when it does, a drawer pops out of the bottom like that, just about 4 inches.
Well, did any of you other jokers see that? I hope not.
Well, Earl, thank you for pointing that out.
So,
Segerson, you might want to go get an accounting on the door.
Yeah. Sorry, Dick, just to clarify, once I was handed the books, I moved out of the way of the door, and I've gone and actually sat at the desk. And I'm still holding the Greek piece of paper, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've got that, and I've sat down at the desk, and I'm skimming through the books, and I'm trying to study the Greek thing better. To try and work out what it translates to.
Trying to work it out. All right.
Yeah.
When the drawer pops open, you can all see what's inside. There is a single book sitting in there. There are 2 large format, dark green leather-bound, what look kind of like accounting ledgers. And there is something large and rectangular wrapped in red silk. And there's also there might be other things in there. The door's not all the way open.
Earl, my boy, you found them for me. Way to go!
What do you mean found?
What do you mean for you?
The books that James was working for me.
So hang on. Once I hear that, I say, so let me get this correct. Mr. Valentino, these the books that I am holding, are the two books that you yourself say you own.
No, not at all.
He's talking about the ledgers.
The ones that you have are the ones that Jared came from Jared's.
I think that's why
bookstore.
Jared was confused. So the books that Earl's found in the hidden compartment is
What he's found is he's found a book and he's found 2 ledgers and something large and rectangular wrapped in red.
right.
Well, I want to pick up my large rectangular wrapped in silk.
Okay. It feels like a big, heavy book, but it's wrapped up. It's got that sort of, like a book feel.
Like heavy book feel.
Yeah.
When wrapped in silk.
Possibly something very valuable.
Smooth and heavy.
See here, Mary? You see, Mary? See?
Yeah. I'm just hoping the police get here.
Do you? But you don't, Mary.
Earl.
Could be the answer to all of our financial. Let's just unwrap it and see what's in this thing.
Earl, may I look at that?
No, I found it, Jared.
Well, I actually
Jared, I think you just need to let other people look at books for a moment, okay? You have plenty of books at your shop. Some of us aren't so fortunate to have so many books so close to us, and we would just like to look them over.
Share? How about learn how to share, Jared?
Oh, I know how to share. I just wanted to take a look at it. That's all I really want to do, Earl. Is that a problem?
Well, let Earl look at it first before he gives himself a heart attack, and then I'm sure he's a nice man. I'm sure he'll let you take a peek at it.
Okay.
The other book that's in there, the more ordinary looking one, is a primer of the Greek vocabulary.
By the way, Tom, I did a roll on my Greek language and I passed.
Okay. So we'll get back to you in just a moment. So how about you, Eddie?
So, Earl, now that you've opened up the secret compartment and thankfully you have found the ledgers, good job on your part. If you need help carrying out that nightstand to add to your room, sounds like you've been shortchanged on your accommodations.
Well, I've got a nightstand. My nightstand's just fine. It's the wardrobe I like.
Ooh, that's heavy. But I can help you. Once the police finish their business.
Wait a minute. I don't think we've opened the wardrobe.
So I'm still seeing that Earl has picked up the big book and that all of the other books are still in the drawer.
I'm reaching for it if I can get around Earl.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not a Siderson.
So Earl's going to move over towards the wardrobe, and you're going to step up and grab the ledgers.
Correct.
Do a spot hidden when you do that.
Oh yeah.
And
You're the wrong person.
Well, he's looking over that. Earl makes great point that we need to open up the wardrobe.
How'd you do, Eddie?
I failed miserably.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to my blue dice.
So he's grabbed the ledgers, and you can still see the Greek vocabulary. Dominic, I'm sorry, what did you just say you were going to do?
I would like to take a look inside the wardrobe, the one that Earl is so envious of.
Well, let's see. Earl's over by it. Eddie's in between there and you. It's a little crowded getting over to that end of the room.
I'm still watching Earl and that book he has in his hand.
I also want to mention to Dominic that Sigerson is sitting at the desk with his back to you.
You know, that's a good point. I think I'm currently over the body and everybody is so interested in that book, I think there are $2 calling my name.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of pennies.
Yeah. You not only find that, you also find another $1.25 in loose change.
Right. I'm going to take everything that isn't a penny because Sigerson might tell the police, hey, search this guy for pennies, but he does not know about the dollars and the quarters. So.
And you find a key ring.
I'm taking all that.
Okay.
Everybody is so fascinated with books, but they don't see the real prize in the room.
Key ring has a couple of keys on it. One of them you recognize is probably the room key.
Excellent. Good for getting rug later.
And also, are you going to move the body at all while you're rifling it?
Well, I maybe
Do
a little
spot,
bit, a little.
Do a spot hidden.
Ooh, a 13.
A
I
13.
would believe that the 13 is an extreme success. Extreme success. I am great at spotting things.
Okay. I'm going to send you a message. Go
Excellent.
ahead and the rest of you continue. Oh, you're going to walk over to the wardrobe. Jared, where are you?
I'm standing on the right beside Oral, still eyeing the book he has in his hand.
Weird, Jared. It's weird.
Well-
You keep looking at me like that.
I just want to see the book.
It's not the one you want. I know where the one you want is.
Where's the one? Which one am I looking for?
The dictionary, the one with words.
Yes, it says dictionary.
It's over on the nightstand. Now quit
Oh.
staring at me.
Okay, I walk over towards the nightstand.
Weird. I start going through the wardrobe, hoping that I don't find his
Okay.
undie drawer.
You open up the wardrobe, and there are a number of coats and shirts and things hung up. There are a number of pairs of shoes, which in the Depression, owning a number of pairs of shoes like that is kind of, wow. As far as you know, Gardner didn't seem to work, and yet he obviously had money, so more money than you'd expect. There's also a wooden box, about the size of a large jewelry case, if you will, in the bottom of the thing.
Oh, what is in this box that looks like a jewelry box?
Well, wait, you're over there, or are
Thought
you
were
over
with
by the
body.
bottom? You're by the bottom.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't. I just my extra senses like.
Who all is over by the wardrobe looking inside? Earl is.
Eddie's there.
Eddie's there. Eddie and Earl do a spot hidden. Let's see who gets the better.
No.
$39 on 45's regular pass.
Okay, I'm going to type something to you.
All right.
And these things that I'm typing to you are optional. It's your information, so you can do with it what you want.
You know, whoever did Mr. Segerson's great and good friend in seemed to have left something behind.
Sorry.
There's a knife.
When he says that, I obviously turn around. Did I translated the Greek?
Yeah, I'll get to you in just 1 second.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, I'll go over to where the knife is, and I'll say, well, Dominic, the one thing you've said correctly is I sincerely doubt he did these wounds to himself, which means whoever the killer is, seems to have dropped the knife, whether or not it is the knife that was used for the murder.
Well, it looks pretty fancy to me, kind of thing. An odd knife to use, something so recognizable.
Dom,
So
Dom,
is it quite an ornate knife?
Yeah,
What is it, Eddie?
it's a fancy-looking knife. Looks like it's actually made out of shiny black, almost glass-like.
Are the
So
blades
obsidian?
obsidian? Is the blade
Okay.
obsidian?
Yes.
Oh, is it? I thought Eddie was at the wardrobe.
Well, he
I
was
am.
talking about a knife, so
Oh,
Yeah.
he's coming. Oh, okay, so everyone's
No,
coming.
I'm just.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a shiny, glassy rock. I'm not familiar with that word that you just used. You know, not so great on the great English vocabulary, but it's shiny and it's black. Looks sharp.
Whereabouts on the body did you find it?
It's underneath it. Look, he's like laying on top of it.
Was
You
his
should-
hand anywhere near it?
I don't think that he is gripping it. It's just underneath him.
It's possible that he
Jared,
dropped it as he fell.
Jared, my character decides to come around the corner from where the nightstand's at and notices all you guys standing around the body. Was it there the entire time, or what?
I don't recall anybody stuffing a knife under the body. I would assume that it's been here the whole time. Unless it's walked in after Mr. Segerson stopped blocking the door and decided to take a nice cozy nap underneath our dead friend here. I think it's been here the whole time.
Does it
I'm
have
going to
blood on
hand
it?
the translate the piece of paper back to Dominic, and I go, I translated it, by the way.
Well, that's nice. I'm going to put
What
it
is-
back where it was living, and I'm just going to set it back on the tarp.
So are
So
you?
Dominic, does the blade have blood on it?
Yes.
Yes, it definitely does.
I sold, basically purchased 2 such daggers for James almost a year ago. There should be a matching blade.
Well, I only see one of them.
So you saying there's another one?
He had me purchase a pair of them for him.
Dominic, do an appraise roll.
Ooh, a 15.
Yeah, that knife's worth a lot.
Oh my goodness. I should not have said anything. No.
Seekerson,
Oh,
are
goodness.
you going to tell everybody?
They don't seem interested, so no.
Okay.
Is there any way to just send it to me?
No, I got a graphic.
Well,
Did you email it?
what was on his little paper? Secret.
Yeah, what did you translate?
All right.
Okay, now, yeah. All right. I call upon the one who is Yog-Sothoth. To hear my prayer, he is the great and the key and the guardian of forever. This vessel I have prepared for you. Empty the man and fill this body. Transport my consciousness. Prepare the way to the dream. Ea Yog-Sothoth upon the gate.
Well, that sounds like a bunch of bumbo jumbo to me. Are you sure you translated that correctly?
Well, I only have a basic Greek, but from what I can tell and from reading Jared's book, it seems to be the translation.
I don't know what a Yog Sothoth is.
Neither do I.
My English is not so good.
Can I roll an occult for this?
You can roll an occult. Sure.
I got 63 out of 70.
Well, it's obviously some sort of spell, and you're pretty sure that it has something to do with his interest in what it said in his journal about crossing over into the dreamlands. But Yog-Sothoth does not sound familiar.
Okay. It seems like something about into the dreams, but Yog-Sothoth I don't know anything about.
Yes, no, I'm not sure I 100% got the translation correct on that one. I did. That was the hardest one.
Earl, what are you doing with the thing wrapped in red silk?
I was just digging through this wardrobe and noticing all these nice shoes, and
Okay.
I got this big heavy wrapped book up. I never have unwrapped this book. I'd love to unwrap this book before I go digging into something else I may have found that I don't know if I want to share with you people just yet. I think you may already have seen, but
Well, it's cumbersome, so you could set it on the bed, or you could walk to some other place in the room.
I don't know if I trust Jared. He's been eyeballing my book. Maybe the other dictionary appeased him. Now they're all gone. Now they're out there messing with the body and talking about right.
Well, except for Eddie, he's there with you.
Eddie seems all right. All right. 'All right. I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapped that I found in the bookshelf. And I'll put the book that's wrapp I'm gonna put that on the bed. Now we're gonna take this box that you say is a bit larger. It's a nice one.
Mm-hmm. Looks like it's made out of walnut or something like
Oh.
that.
I do like the walnut.
It's got a lock. It's got a key. Built-in key lock.
You know, Eddie.
Yes. What? What is it?
You were 2 feet away. Why couldn't you hear me?
I could hear you. You just couldn't hear me. I was trying to be quiet.
Don't turn this around on me. All right, look.
I'm not the paranoid one. I came when
Would you look at the box?
I'm
Which I've
looking.
said to no one ever.
Shh, not so loud.
Look at the box.
I'm looking.
It's got a key.
I don't have
Or it doesn't have a key. It has a keyhole. We need a key.
I've got
Can I do a
knife.
listen roll to hear him whispering?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got a
Bet it was-
knife. It'll
Bet
double
Gardner
as a
was some
key.
weird shit. Or stuff.
I got a 4.
Yeah, you can hear everything they're saying because Earl just doesn't know the volume of his own voice.
I can hear
Hey,
you all laughing.
hey
at me.
Earl. Earl, what are you talking about with Eddie?
I can't hear you, Jared.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you either.
I'm sorry. Why has everybody lost their hearing all of a sudden? What is going on, Earl?
Way to go,
Yeah.
Eddie. Way to go. Way to go. You gave everybody I might as well just put it on the damn top page of the newspaper now.
Well, whatever
There's a
we
box,
do,
you
we can
guys.
put it
There's
on
a
the top
box.
page.
I found a box. There was a box in the wardrobe, and it needs a key. I don't have a key, but I found a box.
Well, I think I might know a person who would be able to open that.
Can't have anything nice these days. You see, Mary? These are the
When
kind of
Dominic says that, I just look at him and I'm like, just open it.
What? I do not have the requisite tools present with me here.
Eddie pulls out a pocket knife and he says, "Will this key do?"
I don't think it's going to fit in such a small keyhole.
But it'll fit between the lip and the box to pop it open.
Don't think about it, Eddie. Just do it. Stick it in and jam it around.
No, I don't. No, look. We should have somebody who is a professional do this. Don't.
See, obviously, it's not
I will take
all.
care of it. Look, give me your knife. Just give me a moment. I'll try to get that open. Okay.
Why don't we look around? Maybe he's got a key here. Maybe there's a key.
Yes. Go look for the key. I'll see what I can do with the pocket knife.
All right, I'm gonna stand by and
I wouldn't
Gotta
give him
keep
my
an
knife,
eye
Eddie. He's shifty.
the
Was there anything left in the hidden, the one with the book that they're trying to open?
Now, Jared, I'm going to tell you I don't do so well when people are watching me work. Now, please go find the key.
There is the Greek vocabulary primer. That's-
Okay, I'll take that.
Do a spot hidden.
Yep, 42 pass.
Okay. When you if you're going to move it around,
Yep.
you move it and you realize that the other dagger is also in that drawer.
Okay, I'll pick that up as well with the
Okay.
book.
Mary, did you get the message I sent you?
Oh, like who the hell is Mary?
You.
I don't.
What are
see
you,
any
all in
message
some kind of
from-
weird world?
I don't see any message for Mary.
It's for Mary. It's from Earl.
Oh, wait. Oh, because see, it says me. It says from Earl to me.
Yeah, me, M-E. That's your first two initials. Mary Elaine Plank.
So all of a sudden, Earl drops something on the ground that makes a big clank, and you realize who's standing right next to him. Eddie's near him.
Yes.
Jared is near him. What he drops is a .32 revolver.
Whoa!
Does it go off?
No,
Well, who did the dropping? I seem to have frozen for a second. Where did this gun come from?
Yeah.
from Earl. He just suddenly
Earl.
dropped it.
What is this? What is this gun?
That's a 32 revolver.
So while everybody's looking at the gun, I'm going to quickly take the keys that I secretly have and unlock the box.
Open up the box. Okay.
I'm going to grab my gun.
What are you doing with that, Earl?
Look at you all. You're thieves and weirdos. I'm protecting myself and Miss Plank. And I put it back in my pocket.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody cool? Okay.
Yes.
So while you guys are distracted by the gun, Dominic manages to quietly pop the key in. And
right, yes. So while they're all distracted with the gun, I am definitely taking that money.
Oh, you didn't have to say that out loud.
Well, I know, but the people watching at home should know that what Dominic is all about, you know.
Okay.
But the other people don't need to know. I'm sure they are good enough of players to act like they don't know that. So I'm going to just take that, and I'm going to hold up the knife and say, I have gotten it open, but only after I have taken out.
Right. Okay.
Hey, way to go, Dominique.
And
Eddie expects the knife back.
Yes, I definitely hand you the knife back.
Inside the box is a grooming kit and a sewing kit. And that's all.
That's not much. Why would someone lock that up?
I mean, why on earth would somebody be reading all these books and carve little spirals into themselves? The guy, it's not all there.
Huh.
I don't like any of this.
When I went over to the nightstand to go look at my book, was there anything off about my book at all? Was there any pages ripped out, or was there like?
You mean the journal?
Dictionary? Yeah, no, the dictionary.
No, about your dictionary. No, everything's fine.
Okay.
Looks
Miss
like you
Plank.
kept it quite well.
Miss Plank, there's not supposed to be animals anywhere in this tenant house. There's not supposed to be.
There was just a neighbor's dog.
I
Mr.
clearly heard
Earl.
a dog. I have clearly heard it.
You know that we had that business with Mrs. Whirlburl across the street and told her to keep her damn mutts quiet.
Man, I didn't know there's dogs in here. I'm gonna get fleas. Ugh.
There are no dogs within. Listen to what Mary was just saying. They are from across the street.
We don't let dogs, we don't let babies in the building.
The only fleas, Jared, you're going to get are from if you hang around Earl too much, okay? Don't even worry about it.
This. Don't even start with that crapola there, Dominic. I don't like you since you moved in here.
Well, I'm glad that you liked me before I moved in
I
here.
let it out. I just said it right there. I put it out in the world.
It's okay, Earl. I liked you before I moved in too.
So, Jared, I believe that Earl has set the big book down somewhere while he's fiddling with this other stuff.
It's on the bed next to the box.
Can I do a stealth and to walk over towards the book without him noticing me? Okay.
I mean, you don't have to roll. You just.
I don't have to. Oh, okay.
Yeah. What you gonna do?
Okay. I'm going to look at the book. I do want to roll I do have an art and craft and book binding. I would like to actually look at the binding and verify it's what's its origin and what kind, if it's made from leather, or if it's made from what kind of material it's made from.
Well, it's definitely leather. It's old. It seems to be written in Greek. But you know enough to where you can see that this is an 1858 edition of the Book of Dreams, which, from your memory, is a 9th century volume written by a monk in a monastery. This would be the 1680 edition of that older tome. And there's a bookmark.
Oh, may I open to where the bookmark's at?
Yeah, there seems to be some sort of ritual written out, and there's a design very similar to that piece of paper with spirals of some sort. And there's a diagram of a human being with spirals in certain spots drawn on their body. If you want to take some time to like peruse through it, I can give you more information.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right. So you begin to peruse, and after a couple of minutes, this is what you come up with.
How far away is the police station?
They're 13 minutes now.
It's gonna take Tommy. He's gonna have to run all the way there to get to the precinct office. This is the poor part of town. They're not really worried about this part of town much. So once he gets there, they have to then get themselves together and come back. So.
Well, and then especially if you say there was an accident, not a death.
So Jared, if you want to relay that to the others.
Okay. The Book of Dreams. The book was originally written Greek Orthodox monk in the 9th century AD. This edition copy from 1658 AD. The details are confusing as one might expect from transcribed dreams. The monk claims to be able to cross over from our world to the Onamor Kora, the dream country. The monk claims that while there they read a dream book. Part of the text is an attempt to copy what was seen in that dream book. There's...
Yeah, you already said that.
Oh, okay.
A diagram similar to the one on the paper. There's also a diagram with spirals. Okay, so I already said that.
Oh, okay.
All right. Very old, very valuable, very rare. So, Eddie, what are you doing?
Eddie was near enough to Jared and kind of glanced over to see that he was looking at the particular pages, but that wasn't really interesting to him. So now he's just trying to work his way around and mainly get closer to the front door and the tarp with the body.
Okay.
So with that, Dominic, you said you found the knife under the body, so he obviously collapsed on the blade itself, which leads more credence to the possibility that he did kill himself. He did do the spirals on his own scalp.
Well,
And
that is unfortunate, but I think I am starting to agree with you.
I mean, there's no foul play if it's...
It would be weird for a murderer to open up his secret compartment and kill him with one of his own special knives and then just leave it behind.
The whole
and
thing's
looking at the tarp, there's all the blood spattered around the body, and there's no footprints or anything else to imply anybody else could have been around that area. You said it was dried, so even us walking on it might leave a little bit of impression, but...
Well, it also means that he's been lying there for a couple of days.
Right.
Did Eddie check all of the cupboards on the side, or just the one that smashed?
He checked. There's nothing up there. There's just stuff.
Okay.
Now, Mrs. Madeira, her room is directly across from this one.
I wonder if she's heard anything.
Has anyone spoke to him recently? Miss Plank, have you talked to him recently?
No. she's still grieving for her husband who died last March.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Madeira, he was good. He was a good one. Worked in the factory. He put buttons on shoes. Strange, buttons really went out of fashion on shoes and fell on hard times.
So,
Did I agree? Let's go at least check up on Mrs. Madeira. See if she heard anything from days ago. That was a good idea, Dominic.
Yes, I have those from time to time.
so who's going to leave the room and go across the hall?
I will leave the room.
Eddie was already over closest to the door, so he would be leaving.
Okay. All right. So the two of you walk across the hall. Seekerson's glaring at you because you've left the room.
Oh no, I'm reading the Greek thing I found in the drawer.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a primer on, vocabulary. It's something you'd use if you were trying to translate. Are you sitting at the table?
No, I'm literally just standing near the body.
Okay. All right, so you go across the hall to her door. What do you do?
There are dogs in here. Oh, no.
Mother.
I knew it.
That's
Mary, I
right.
told you.
It's everywhere.
After a few minutes, you can hear some shuffling from the inside of the room, and the door opens about that much. And Mrs. Madeira looks out and she says, "What's going on? You guys are making a lot of racket."
Well, we're just wondering if you had heard anything strange from across the hall over
What?
the last couple of days.
Well, what from Mr. Gardner's house? No, I don't hear nothing over there most of the time. I can sometimes hear him saying prayers at night.
Oh, is
Strange.
he? Do you say strange?
Well, yeah, I don't know, some foreign language. I don't know what language those Scottish people speak, but didn't sound like English. But he never plays music or anything like that. Hardly ever leaves his room.
Sure. Well, thank you.
I don't know what he does for work, but he certainly seems to not do much.
Well, he was supposed to be doing work for me. That would have kept him in his room. But you say you heard him doing prayers all throughout the day?
No, usually at night, late at night, I can hear him over there whispering prayers, or sometimes it's like he's singing something, strange sounding stuff. But I haven't heard nothing from him for a couple of days now.
Interesting. Well, Eddie, what type of work was he doing for you?
He was cross-checking my ledgers, just make sure my math was correct.
And why?
She's looking out at the hall because you guys have the door open.
Oh, unfortunately, I mean, if you want to come take a look, he's dead.
He's dead?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
The police are coming. We've been.
Is that Earl Banks over there? That son of a bitch.
Well, yes, he is unfortunately present.
Yeah.
Like always.
Don't trust him. He's nosy.
Well, Miss Madeira, if you don't mind, maybe we should at least come into your room and check around and make sure that nobody is in here, that whoever might have harmed him might be hiding around.
Oh,
We
please.
can check for your
Nobody's in my
safety.
apartment. Come on.
We can at least check
I
for
don't
your
care if
safety.
you come inside, but not that one.
Earl's not coming in. He's staying over there. He's busy.
All right.
Nobody wants to come in your place anyway, you old Betty.
Oh, shut up, you son of a bitch.
Blow it out your ass.
Nosy old bastard.
What a bitch.
So she lets you inside, and it's, like she hasn't done much housework in a while. And everything is, she's got big black bows on things, and she's, of course, dressed all in black. And there's pictures of her husband. But there's nobody in there. It's a small room, kind of like the rest of yours.
And Eddie's using the opportunity.
None of your places have bathrooms. The bathrooms down at the end of the hall. You all share it.
So Eddie's using the opportunity to do just a cursory step in, kind of check it out. But then he's been carrying the ledgers with him, and he's going to use the opportunity. Miss Madera, I hope you don't mind. Let me leave these books here. I don't want them to get stained with the blood from the other room there. I'll
Blood?
But
It's blood?
Oh yes.
Don't worry. It's all on a tarp. There's nothing has gotten on your things.
You listen to me, Mr. Scigalia. You better pull yourself together, or you're going to turn out to be, you're going to end up in juvie hall or prison or something. You need to pull your act together.
Don't worry. I would never dream.
Don't touch any of my things.
Of course. I would never.
You want to put something in my room?
He just wants his math books to be safe.
Go put him in your own damn room. Why would you want to put him here?
Well, the police are coming. I don't want to be too far away when they get.
No, Eddie, it's fine.
Look, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. You say he's dead. That's horrible. But yeah. Okay. Please leave.
Yes, we are sorry.
And she ushers you out and closes the door. You can hear her lock the door.
Could we hear all that? Like if we were in
Yeah.
Gardner's room.
You're literally only 15 feet away.
I could definitely hear the old broad saying what she said about me. Yeah.
Oh, but I thought she hides her disgust for you all so well. They are so good at picking up on the social cues. I am impressed.
I watch people. I watch a lot of things. I watch you, Dominic. You squarely fellow human.
Is there anything else?
No. I don't have anything else to say right now. I feel kind of...
All right, so...
Mary, you heard the dog, right, Mary? This room is bigger than mine, too, so once we get this thing out of here and it's cleans up, let's see about maybe I can get up here and maybe get a little room, little air.
All right, so let me see if I can get a bearing on where everybody is standing in the room. So
I am out in the hall in front of the other room where I was just ushered out and told to clean up my act.
Okay, well, I'm assuming you're all going to go back into the room. All right.
Yes.
All right. So where are you all
I
standing?
guess so.
I'm standing kind of towards the top of the body near the window.
Okay, you're by the window.
Yeah.
Dominic and Eddie have probably just walked in the door.
I moved further in towards where the tables are.
Eddie's probably over toward the desk.
Okay. Eddie, if you're over by the desk, do a spot hidden.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, I'm double my values.
And I'm sorry, Jared, you got really quiet again.
I'm over close by the table desk too as well.
You're over by the table?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Mary, I'm just inside the door. If you turn left, I'm just standing right there on the door frame. I can stick my arm out and give her the shake fist from across the street here.
Look, the police are going to be here any minute. This is a horrible, horrible thing that's happened. You say that you got books that belong to you, and you got ledges, and I don't know what the hell's going on here. But the police should be here any minute. Where is the big book? Is it still on the bed, or Jared, do you have it? Or are you still perusing through it?
Still kind of perusing through it, just casually.
So she says, Mary closes the door with you guys inside, and she says, look, she says, I don't want this to ruin Moskank's business. So if we could all just keep a lid on this, the police will come, they'll take care of it, but I don't want the story getting around or anything that this poor Mook killed himself or whatever.
Of course, we will see between us.
Yes, what's it?
And everybody do a spot hidden.
A 94 is not going to get it.
It was a 7.
I got a 2.
Extreme.
Add 90 to Earl's, and that's mine.
And Jared?
Got a 30 on over 45.
Okay. So Earl and where you guys are standing, Dominic and Earl are facing towards the body. Jared is sort of half facing towards it. And Eddie and Sigurdsson, you're not facing it at all. But you hear a sort of scraping sound, a rustling sound, like the tarp is sort of being disturbed. And Dominic and Earl, you see the body suddenly twitch.
What is that?
Don't care. Open the door. Open the door.
And Mary's like, what? And
I'm
so
opening the door.
the body starts to rise up off of the tarp and stand up. And as it does, the skin on its head, cut in a spiral, starts to unwind and slough down like this and reveal this muscular, blood-red, skull-like, skinless head. Everybody do a sanity roll.
Hawks.
I have failed.
Okay.
Yeah, I passed.
If you passed 1d4. If you failed 1d8.
2.
Oh, I lost 7 points of sanity.
Ooh.
Okay, if you lost 5 or more, do an intelligence roll.
Well, no, I have passed my intelligence.
Oh,
I'm going to need to make a 1d8 roll now, correct?
yeah, go ahead.
31.
Okay. How about the rest of you? Anybody fail?
I passed and I got 2 sand
Okay.
loss.
Okay, well, because Dominic, I guess, is just like right in front of it when it happens. Dominic screams at the top of his lungs and collapses on the floor. He passes out. You probably all yell too when this happens.
I just want to run. I got no reason to be here.
Well, let's say that you all sort of try to scramble for the door, and as a result, it makes it impossible for you to open up the door.
He already
Yeah,
opened
come
it.
on.
Does anybody want to do anything other than run?
I noticed
Yeah,
Dominic.
I was going to go for the window because I was right next to the window, so I was actually going to unlatch it and jump out the window.
You're 3 stories up.
Third floor.
Can I do a luck roll to see if there's like a...
There's no fire escape.
No, not
It's
fire
all-
escape. What do they call the piping on the side?
Yeah, there's nothing like that. It's a 3-story
Okay.
drop out the window.
Okay, well, I won't be doing that then.
I see Dominic had fallen over. Is it possible I can try to drag him or grab him, like shake him?
Yeah, you can grab him if you're next to him. You maybe grab him. But this thing is now towering over you, and it's sort of stretching itself. And it's, in place of its eyes, there are just sort of these lights that are glowing from its head. These red lights, demon lights. Earl, you are scrambling for the door. Do a dex roll.
12 on 80 extreme.
Mhm.
Okay, so you don't trip and fall as you get to the door. Sigerson, what are you doing?
So probably a bit of panic, went to maybe go for the window, and then thought, oh no, so I've now headed for the door. But what I'm going to do is the desk, because if they're all packed in, I'm going to try and go to the desk and like climb on top of the desk to climb over the top of everyone else to get through the door.
Okay.
So almost like jump through the gap.
Now, Mary is pressed up against the door, and you all kind of are crushing toward, or some of you are crushing towards her. Eddie, what are you trying to do?
I was at the desk. I turned at the sound, and as soon as I heard the voice, heard the sound, and then saw the body and saw the apple pill face being exposed, even though I passed my sanity, I'm scared shitless, and I was already up making my way to the door. So I'm one of the ones fighting at the door.
All right, so you're all just clamoring for the door, and as a result, since the door opens in, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Eddie's a friend, but not that big of a friend. Excuse me, Dominic.
Well, I'm currently passed out, so I am one of the ones not scrambling for the door.
That's why I said you're a friend, but not that big of a friend.
I'm trying to get you up, but
Jared, as you're standing there next to this thing, you see it sort of turn towards where you dropped the book on the bed. And it then looks back at the rest of you, and it throws its arms back, opens its mouth, which sort of unhinges, and it lets out this screeching noise. And everybody roll a 1d3, which is a 6, and then divide it by 2.
Does that include me?
No, you're unconscious. You can roll a 1d10 and see how long you're going to be unconscious.
See a 1d10?
Yeah, that's how many rounds you'll be unconscious.
Ooh, 3 rounds.
Okay, whatever you rolled, the rest of you, you're going to be dazed for those 3 rounds by this horrific sound. And as you are dazed, your mind is suddenly flooded with these bizarre images of a strange, nightmarish land. It's like you're out in a wilderness, but it's filled with staring eyes and dark recesses. And who got 1 round? Okay. So as you're sort of confused for a second, as you begin to come back out of it, you see the creature looking at the book, and it's beginning to move towards the book. It's going to have to shove some of you out of the way and go around the bookcase, but it's heading for that book. Do you want to do anything now that you're sort of coming out of it?
Oh, crap. I'm going to make a dash trying to see what its intent is. I'm trying to make a dash toward the bed. I'm going to lift up the book and hold it to draw it close. And then as it gets half the distance, I'm not certain how heavy this thing is, but I'm going to try to throw it toward whoever's close to the door. I'll call out their name first.
Okay. So I'm going to say it takes you 1 round to get to the book. So who is dazed for 2 rounds? Okay. You're starting to come out of it, and you're seeing Eddie run to grab the book, and as this creature is coming to follow after him. And he looks like, a basketball player who wants to toss the book to one of you. Meanwhile, this creature is hideous and dripping, and
I just remembered. I have a .32 revolver. I want to shoot that son of a gun, that monster. I'm going to shoot it.
all right.
I'll save you, Mary.
You can take a shot at it with a penalty die because you're terrified.
With me in line.
Probably not going to work out well.
Yeah, if you critically fail,
You shoot Eddie.
Or shoot me.
we're all waiting with bated.
8. It's not my gun. It's 98. It's not my gun. It was an 18, and now it's a 98.
Oh, I heard 8.
Well, Eddie, do a luck roll.
Exact. 35.
Okay. Well, we'll say that you see him aiming the gun like this, and you
I
kind
hope
of
the book
dive out of the way just as the gun goes off. And you can feel the bullet just go right past your ear. All right, and everybody except for Dominic. How many rounds are you down, Dominic?
I got three rounds.
Okay, so you're probably starting to come back to consciousness at this point.
Oh.
But you've had the gun go off, so you can all do sanity rolls again.
Does that include me? As I'm
No.
That's a pass.
Pass.
That's a fail.
Okay, if you pass, just take 1 more point of damage, and if you fail, take 2. All right. So, Jared,
catch.
Jared is kind of so Eddie, you're throwing the book.
I see Earl's hands are full of a gun.
All right.
I see Jared as the one that likes books, so I know Jared would be interested in it. I'm throwing it toward him.
Eddie, do a throw roll.
Yeah, it ain't gonna go that far. Oh, exact 30 for 30.
Nice. So Jared, do a dex roll and see if you catch it.
Would it be plausible? Because I had 3, so I've just come through. Would it be plausible for mine? Because I was standing on top of the desk.
Okay.
So could I possibly, as he threw the book, dive for it?
36 on Dex. With the Dex of 40.
Yeah, you can try. Go ahead, Seekerson. Of course, Jared's probably going to catch it anyway.
I got a 23.
Okay. That's just a regular.
What was that a jump or a dex?
Call it a dex. Yeah.
It's a hard.
Okay. Well, let's say that both Jared and Seekerson both grab a hold of one end of the book as they catch it together. And I'm wondering, since you said dive for it, I think Seekerson, you're off the table.
Oh yeah, no, like I was.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, so Eddie threw it, and I literally leapt to intercept the book.
So when the book flies through the air and lands in your hands, the creature turns, throws its arms back, opens its mouth, and blasts you again with this incredibly horrific sound. I see that Earl jammed his fingers into his ears. So I'll say you can all, everybody roll a POW roll, and Earl, you can have a bonus dice.
Am I unconscious at this point?
You're just waking up when this sound occurs.
So do I make a power roll then?
Yeah.
Passed.
And his back was to me when he did the yell. Would I have the same?
Yes.
I have passed.
Okay. If you passed, you're just sort of dazed for another round by this
Hard
strange
pass.
thing. If you failed, 1d3 again. It hurts the inside of your head. Yeah. So you're like, oh, like this as it does this. The creature is moving towards Sigerson and Jared to get the book. It's also swinging, so to knock you out of the way. It still
Okay.
only appears to be a human-sized thing. Well, James Gardner's sized thing. What do y'all want to do next?
Who's dazed?
Dickerson,
Well, I was only dazed for one round. Am I back now?
Yeah, I'm on the days.
Yeah, Dominic, you're back, and you're seeing this horrific thing going on.
Is everybody moved away from the door in the shuffle?
I'm
Well,
wondering who was
They
dazed.
haven't moved away from it, but they're. I'm sorry. What was
Where's
that?
Mary? Is Mary still crammed up against the door?
Mary's kind of hunkered down like this now because everybody
Okay,
kind
so
of.
the door's blocked basically. How many
Can I tell
rounds?
that it's going for the book?
Yes.
Throw it out the window, and I'm gonna go to tackle
what I
whatever
thought.
this thing is.
How many did you pass? How many days were you on, Jared?
it's one.
Okay, so we're both through. So yeah, I'm going to try and rip the book out of Jared's hands
What are
and
you doing?
biff it at the window.
We need to destroy it if he's after it.
Let's say Jared and Seekerson do a dex roll. Do a strength roll. That makes more sense.
Okay.
You're trying to yank it out of Jared's hands.
Got a 34 out of 60. Regular.
Hang on, I clicked on the wrong thing. 32 out of 60.
So you both got the same level.
The attacker wins.
Well, in this case, I just want to say you're struggling with it. Okay.
Okay, cool.
You're trying. You're not succeeding or failing. So the creature's once again moving towards you.
I am trying to look for one of the knives that was somewhere.
Let's see. Where was the last location?
I believe Segerson was
No, you
holding.
didn't see me take it. No one saw me take it.
Okay. So where's the other one?
Still on the top.
Okay, so there's one laying on
So
the
can
tarp.
I get to it?
Yeah, because now there's not a body on the tarp.
All right, I want to grab it. I'm going to assume that's going to take me a round, but they're struggling.
Okay.
Unless I can grab it and then make an attack at the.
Yeah, I'll say you can grab it and make an attack.
All right, roll time.
Okay.
Oh, an 84 is not good.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that you come up to the thing with your knife and you jam the knife right into its ribs. Okay. And you jam it in and you pull it out. Maybe you jam it in a couple of times. And when you do, the holes that you make with that, they sort of glow blue for a second and just close right back up again.
Oh boy. We have a problem.
Sigerson, we gotta destroy this book, man. Can't just throw it out.
All of a sudden, you hear a rhythmical sort of thump, 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 and all of a sudden, banging on the outside of the door. Police! What's going on in there? And they
Get
heard-
out of the way of the door.
I try to open the door.
All right. Everybody do let's see. I'm going to say that with the police there, you're going to be able to sort of get out of the way. Mary sort of crawls away farther into the room, and you manage to get the door open, and you can see it's two police officers, and they push their way into the room. What's going on in here? What's going on? Holy Jesus Christ! As they see this thing, and their reaction is to immediately pull out their guns and start firing into it, whatever the hell it is. these guns are going bang, 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 like this. And every hit in the body of this thing just glows blue for a second and then closes back up. And the creature is reaching for its is reaching for the book at this point. It's sort of overpowering you all. And it looks like it's getting ready to scream again.
No,
So-
I'm running out the door. See ya.
Yeah, whereabouts are the cops? Are they standing in the doorway?
Yeah, well, they came into the doorway, but now they're all the way in, so they could get clear shots.
Yeah, okay, so I'm still going to try and rip the book out of Jared's hands, and I'm making for the door with Earl.
Okay, so you're going to try that again,
Yeah.
Jared?
8.
Failed.
Okay, so Seekerson, you managed to rip the book out of his hands, and you're scrambling for the door.
Yeah.
And the creature is immediately trying to chase after you, but it's still in the room. The policemen are continuing to attempt to fire. Everybody do a luck roll.
Eddie was still dazed from the last scream. I was for
Right.
3 rounds.
Ooh, 98.
I have passed my luck roll with a 16.
Did you need me to roll?
Any extremes? Yeah, you can go ahead and roll.
I
couldn't hear that, Dominic. Sorry.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Just a normal success. Actually, no. I think I got a hard success, maybe.
Hard success. The creature is just, if there's somebody in its way, it's just shoving them out of the way, and it's trying to get to the door so that it can chase Seekerson.
Damn it, Seegerson.
The police are afraid to fire because now it's sort of, you guys are kind of surrounding the thing. But it pushes its way through the door. And to your horror, you can see that Tommy is just a few feet outside the door. You can see that Tommy is just a few feet outside the door, and the creature's going to crash into him as it goes by. Tommy's screaming. Anything you guys want to do? Seekerson, you're running down the stairs, but you're stumbling and tripping as you're going down.
Okay.
Does anybody want to do anything? Your guys are kind of coming out of it. The thing has gotten past you. The police are just as stunned and frightened as you could imagine they would be.
So the beast is running with Seegerson down the hall, and he's down the stairwell now.
It's just outside the door at this point. It's obviously chasing after him.
Well, I'm going to close the door behind it and stay inside.
Okay.
Well, and I guess he's stopping all of us from following, so...
Well, I'm not stopping. You can run out if you want. Just close the door behind you. I don't want the thing coming back in.
Well, I think that the police would have an objection to that. They would immediately try to open up the door again so that they could get out and chase after whatever the hell
Have
it
at
is.
it. Have at it.
All
They
right.
can- I'm just closing it behind them and staying away from it.
Seegerson, do a luck roll.
I got cut off a little bit there. Pass.
Okay. Well, let's end the story this way. The police are chasing after this monster. The creature has almost it can run faster than a normal human.
As I'm running, I'm ripping pages out of the book, by the way. I'm
all
destroying the book as I run.
right. I'm just going to say that as the thing is chasing you and the police are trying to stop it, one of the policemen gets the idea that maybe, since its body doesn't seem to be vulnerable at all, that its head might be. And when they start shooting it in the head, it actually starts doing the creature damage. And they manage to stop it, but you probably all have to be institutionalized for a while after this is all over.
Yes, I am currently suffering from, I think, what the technical term is temporary insanity.
And that's really the end of the story. It ends with you either defeating the creature, or if you'd have thrown the book out the window, it would have jumped out after it. You'd have never seen it again, and then it would have been out there in the world somewhere.
So it still would have worked.
Mary.
So Eddie goes next door to Mrs. Bandera to check up and make sure that she's safe from all the gunshot. And then once he's got her calm, he's going to collect his ledgers and get back to his friggin' room.
Okay.
Mary, are you
My
okay?
books and leave. Go back.
Yeah, Mary's a little crazed and dazed. You all kind of are. Okay, so here's what was going on. James Gardner had been a person who was very interested in dreamlands. And he had managed on a number of occasions to cross over into the dreamlands in his sleep. And you could tell from the beginning of his journal that he had kind of a rich dream life. But a number of months ago, it all stopped. And he became desperate to find a way to get back into the dreamlands. So he was doing research and he was trying to find old books, and he finally managed to come across the old the old book there, and he found a spell that allowed him to go back into the dreamlands. And when he did, he met this entity, and the entity taught him how to perfect the spell by putting spirals all over his skin, and ultimately, to finally cross over into the dreamlands, he had to make the ultimate sacrifice by cutting his own skin in a thing and then cutting his throat. Well, it was all a lie. The entity in the other world wanted a way to get into our world, and what he had done was he was preparing James with the spirals on his skin to make a kind of armor that would make him invincible, which is every time you'd shoot it, nothing, it would just repair itself. And then to kill himself, to allow the creature to invade his body through a certain process, and it would happen at a certain time of day. And that's what happened. The thing just retook his body. And that's really all there is to the story. That you guys were all caught in the fray, as it were. All right.
So what was everyone's individual interest in getting into the room? Eddie was keeping books for the mob, and had kind of fallen on bad luck with some betting, and so started skimming from the books, skimming from the accounts, and realized that he needed to make a false ledger. So he employed James to work up a second ledger for him, and he was supposed to get the thing a couple of days ago. And when he hadn't heard from James, that was his reasoning for getting up there, to get a hold of these mobster ledgers, because the boss was starting to become suspicious.
And as payment, he did that for you because you had obtained the
Daggers.
the daggers that he wanted for his ritual. Segerson.
I was in love with James Gardner. We were friends, and I'd fallen in love with him. And so basically, I was genuinely concerned about his well-being and things like that. And when I thought there was potential that someone in that room was the one that was killed, and there was no way I was letting you guys out of there.
Loot all of his stuff.
And obviously I was like, you know, I don't want you guys having any of this shit, because, yeah.
And Jared? I think we know you wanted
yeah.
your books back.
I wanted my books back, but particularly the Dreamer's Dictionary. I loaned him 3 of my books, and the Dreamer's Dictionary was one of the ones I actually. My bookstore was going out of business, and the one way I could save my bookstore was to actually sell this one. There's a buyer who wanted to buy my book, Dreamer's Dictionary. I was more persistent in getting that book before any other book, but of course, we see how that went.
And Earl
Showed your cards too soon.
Yeah.
Earl.
I'm just nosy. I want to know what the hell everybody's doing. We all have to live together. I want to make sure you guys aren't some kind of creepers or weirdos or murderers or assholes like Dog Lady across the street there, across the hall. There are rules, and I'm here to enforce the rules and help Mary because she doesn't need any of your shit.
and Dominic.
I don't know what you're talking about. Alternative motives? No. I was simply looking out for, the wealth of the Mr. Gardner and making sure that his money would end up in good hands.
How much loot did you get away with?
Let's see. If I've been keeping track, I made away with a little over $130, which in 1931, I made away with a lot of money.
Easily 6 or 7 months rent there.
Yeah.
Of course, I made away like a bandit. Literally, I was a bandit and I made away with it.
All right. Well, let me
finish.
finish.
Dollars. I didn't hear the $100 part.
Yeah, he found money in the box.
So
in fact, I found $125 in the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And keys he
found the keys, the room, and the rug. Look, it's been a great day overall. Aside from the mind-bending apple-peeled monster skin thing, it was a pretty good day.
Our players included John Byram, Zane Fleming, Dakota Davis, Bill Riggle, and Morgan Llewellyn, with myself as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at ITD Podcast. We would love to hear from you. The costs involved in the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.